Hello everyone and welcome back to Access Channel Comics, and today we're going to be doing a brief episode that's actually called Brief View. Brief View is where we talk about a couple of topics and try to get your opinion and feedback on what you think about certain topics that's going on in entertainment, whether it's Hollywood, film festivals, in your local community, or anywhere pretty much going on the planet Earth. And some of the topics we've got today is for example, Ice Cube. There's been rumors that there's possibility. A lot of people has really been doing a push for him playing the next Jonah J. Jameson in a Spider-Man movie. It kind of died down in a way, but we're going to talk about a little bit about it and why, personally, in a way, I feel like he may be a good fit for it. Also, Ben Affleck as the Batman. You know, of course, it was made official not too long ago that Ben Affleck will be starring and directing in the Batman, and along with Jeff Johns writing the story. Let's go with Ice Cube first. First off, Ice Cube I think is one of the most talented people on the planet. Ice Cube has done some extraordinary jobs with films such as Boys in the Hood, the Friday movies, you know, Are We There Yet, and a host of other films. He's done his comedy, he's done his action, his drama, but a lot of people were saying, what if he were to actually play Jonah J. Jameson? And at first, it kind of hit me. I was like, I don't know about that. But then I thought about it. You know, it might work. I remember him in the role of 21 Jump Street and 22 Jump Street. Ice Cube really did, which I have no doubt. Ice Cube can act. He can do his thing. But Ice Cube has really got a funny side to him. And that's what Jameson brings it about. It will be, yes, doing different in the mythology. First time that character will be African American, but they have made other characters African American, such as Perry White in the last two movies with Superman and Man of Steel and Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. They have done other characters. I remember, if I'm not mistaken, Felicia in the Fantastic Four. They made her black when Kerry Washington played her. So sometimes they do that, but this would be something very funny. I could see Cube just yelling at Peter, you know, so I was just wondering, what do a lot of you think? Do you think he will make a good Jonah J. Jameson? I know that J.K. Simmons more than likely is not returning. He's been cast as Commissioner Gordon, which I'm very happy about in the new Batman franchise, particularly for right now, Justice League Part 1. So he's pretty much done with that role. And so it was rumored that he may return back at one time. That would have been fascinating too. But Ice Cube playing him, that would be something different. But I would actually sometimes I like different things. Some people don't like when they change characters. I'm to the point where I'm okay with it with a certain extent. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be funny or anything. Obviously, it's a little too late to really try to turn certain characters, you know, black, like having a black Bruce Wayne. I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm just saying it really wouldn't really fit. I mean, you can have alternate versions sometimes. And in comic books, they change things. But movies, a lot of people just really don't go for it. It just really, certain things wouldn't sell. But if you see, like, for example, Perry White, even though he's not one of the main characters, he's still a big character, the DC staple. And it's worked very well with Lawrence Fishburne. But Lawrence Fishburne is a great actor also. Now, but that'll be an interesting take. So I'd just like to know what a lot of you think. Next thing, Ben Affleck as returning as the Batman. I'm very happy about that. You know, it's funny. I remember some years ago, myself and, you know, my ex-girlfriend, we was on the phone talking. We was talking, and, you know, she knows how much I'm a huge Batman fan. And I was like looking at all, I pulled up the internet, I had got home after kind of a long day, it was nighttime, and I pulled up the internet, check out some stuff on the news, and it said Ben Affleck is the new Batman. And I was like, is this for real, is it a joke or whatever? Because I'm like, sometimes you get those jokes, and I said, Ben Affleck is a new Batman. And she was like, what? And you know, at the time, that's how people reacted. Of course, people were like, no, it's just like Ben Affleck said, you know, it was an uproar. Probably similar to Michael Keaton's back in the day. Almost near that stage, but I remember saying a couple of days later, or maybe it was the night, I said, I'm going to give him a chance. And I'm glad I did, because he did a magnificent job in BVS. And Ben Affleck is a huge guy. I mean, he's got the stature of the Batman, you know, and for him to come direct and, you know, sign on to direct and do some things like that, I think that is very good. You know, he's an Academy Award winner multiple times. He's done a fabulous job. The Town is one of the best movies I've ever seen. He did a great job in that, starring in it, and I think he directed that also. And also, he, of course, directed Argo. And he didn't get nominated for Best Director, but I think he should have. But Argo won Best Picture. And of course, him and Matt Damon, good buds. They the movie they wrote, they won best screenwriters for, if I'm not mistaken, years ago. And also, he directed Gone Baby Gone. So Ben Affleck knows what he's doing when it comes to directing. And I think the thing is, a lot of people gave him a hard time so many times for the Daredevil. Understand, Daredevil was not his fault. He was an actor following direction. And he's had some movies back in the day that weren't too good, Geely, but that was Ben Affleck over 10 years ago. We talking about Ben Affleck now, one of the hottest guys in the game, a well-respected actor. And what I respect about him is he was a hot tabloid at one time, but came into the zone as being a well-established actor and director and taken very seriously. And now he's got one of the biggest roles, not only of today, but of all time, Batman. Most certainly one of the top 5 roles you can have in the history of movies. And so I was thinking of some of the stories that you use. There are so many wonderful Batman stories. You got The Long Halloween. That was some of the things that inspired, The Dark Knight, with Christian Bale, starring Christian Bale, Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy. But of course, you got certain things, The Court of Owls they could do. You got Under the Red Hood. Under the Red Hood is a very interesting one because you can tell that story of who was in that suit. And I think it was Jason Todd. And possibly bring him to redemption. And of course, the first movie, he and Batman would be battling it out. But it would come over to redemption to join the Bat family. That would be pretty good. But something that would be very good is Batman Hush. That is a very good job. The artwork of Jim Lee and everything. You've got Superman in that story. A lot of Batman Rose Gallery villains. But the only thing is, having that many characters in one movie. But it can still work. If you think about, you have to make it sense. If you think about the build up, what Marvel is doing with their cinematic universe of going to Infinity Wars, rumor has it there's going to be over 62 characters in that movie as far as big names, and that's going to be pretty huge. And I'm like, Batman's villains have been handled well on the big screen, especially by Christopher Nolan. And he's used a multiple of villains in his movies and made it all make sense and work. It wasn't cluttered like The Amazing Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man 3 or anything like that. So that could work. But some of my stories I would love to see of, in Jeff Johns' writing, Batman taking on the Court of Owls, Batman Under the Red Hood, Batman Hush. There are so many great, wonderful stories. And that's what I'm saying, not The Dark Knight Returns. I enjoyed The Dark Knight Returns. It's in my collection, but there are other great Batman stories to tell, but that's what I think, I think Ben Affleck is going to make a great rendition to these Batman films. It's, they're saying it's going to be a trilogy, a new Batman trilogy, plus he looks to be returning in the Justice League movies, Justice League Part 1, which they're filming right now. And I think that's why I said DC is in a good path. And a lot of people, like I was saying, they were saying, well, I wish they would have went the Marvel route, but you got to understand, that worked for Marvel. And that was a genius move for Marvel. Nobody was doing it at the time. It's not that Marvel was the first one to ever have a shared universe, but they revolutionized shared universes. But if you were to take characters and brought an Aquaman movie out a couple of years ago now, it would have bombed. Let's just be honest. And I'm a huge DC fan, but I'll be honest. But putting him in the same movie with Batman and Superman, despite what people may say about BVS, people are now like, I remember Aquaman for the Super Friends. He was in Batman v Superman. I want to see this movie. And The Flash has a hot TV show out right now. I'm not going to get too much to the topic. That's going to be a tall order. But I think the movie is going to do very well. Of course, you got Wonder Woman, so they're headed in the right direction. But anyway, I just wanted to have that brief view and talk about this a little bit more. I want to know your guys' opinion. You can leave your thoughts at the bottom. And you can click on the subscribe button if you like this episode. And I look very forward to seeing you back on Access Comics channel. Peace.